I am so excited, everyone. This is our first LVTV goes on the road, and I can't imagine any place that is more fun than where we are right now. This is Simple Acre Farm. It's in a suburb of Oklahoma City. It's in a neighborhood of all things, which to me is just the most magical thing in the world. And I'm here with my new best friend, Kristin Davenport, who has created this wonderland of cut flowers. So again, it's in Mustang, Oklahoma, which is about 20-30 minutes from Oklahoma City. And I'll put the specific contact information up there so you know where you can find Kristin, because this is such a cool venture. This is a cut your own and bring it home kind of cut flower business. So let me introduce Kristin Davenport and her husband Joel, who have turned this into a wonderful business. So Kristin, tell us a little bit about how you got started here.
Okay. Thank you, by the way. I'm so excited you're here. So we started a couple of years ago, and it's just kind of evolved over the past couple of years. 3 years ago, we grew a lot of strawberries and vegetables, and I decided I liked flowers more. And Joel, being the awesome husband that he is, agreed to help me. So we've expanded a lot this year, and we grow a pretty wide variety of flowers here that are suited to cut in the vase.
Yes. And let me just interrupt you for 1 minute, because I want everybody to hold on to the end, because what are you going to share with us at the very end? This is really great information, you guys.
So I'm going to share my top 5 favorite seeds to direct seed in the garden for the summer to have cut flowers.
Yeah, and if you live in the South or really anywhere where you garden with kids, that is going to be just invaluable information. So I just love the fact, I think one of the reasons this is so captivating to me, and it was just an email that was sent out, I guess, to people who were in the flower business or whatever, and Kristin's name came up, and I thought this could be just such a wonderful place to visit, because there is just charm all around us. And sometimes we just have to dig a little bit deeper to find out the charming places that are in our communities that we can take advantage of. And I also love kind of the story behind it, that you made this dream come true. You said that when you were younger, that flowers were a real comfort to you.
Yes.
Kristin and I both lost our mothers at a young age. She also lost her father. And you said that flowers were a real comfort to you.
They were. Growing flowers is just a piece for my soul and my mind. But just remembering all the flowers that were gifted to our family during that time, you just know that people love you and care about you, and just gives you joy.
And it gives you joy, and it's just a way that we can nurture ourselves. So how do you share all of this with the community? Because this is a business. And we'll put a screenshot this card up so that you guys know exactly how to get hold of Kristin if you're in the Oklahoma City area. If you're not in our Metroplex area, I encourage you to do a little bit of research and find some place near you in your community, because this whole slow flower movement of buying and cutting flowers that are grown locally and organically is such a wonderful gift to our communities. And I think pretty much all communities have one now relatively close to them.
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of services do you provide?
So one of our biggest services is the U-Cuts. We offer this to the general public, and we'll post it on our social media sites at Simple Acre Farm. And they schedule their appointment, and we do social distancing and just a few people at a time, since it is a smaller area. They come, we give them a mason jar with water and the clippers, and they just can choose from the field and cut their jar and arrange it here or take it home. We've had a lot of families come, a lot of grandmas come, and it just reminds them of their gardens growing up.
It really does. It's got that nostalgic feel, and it's in this beautiful shady location that is, and there's a rustic barn nearby, which then tells me this would be a great place to take photographs, to take graduation pictures, to take pictures of your kids when they're young. And Kristin and Joel have 2 beautiful children, and just to have your kids scamper through someplace like this would make some of the best keepsake photos imaginable. But I can also see engagement pictures and wedding pictures. I mean, it goes on and on. So do you allow people to come and do photography here, and how does that work?
We do. They can contact us, message us, email us through our social media. And they just set up a time. We like to schedule it so there won't be people in the background, so they can have it to themselves, and just a rental for professional photographers. Or if the general public wanted to do it, they can come during the U-Cuts.
Yeah. And it is important, I think, that this is at your home. It is in a neighborhood that you know, businesses like yours are respected, so you can always call or text or contact you through your website. So this is just a sampling, you guys, of the gorgeous cut flowers that you can get from her cut flower farm. And she is my new BFF. She's my new best friend because she cut me 3 gorgeous buckets of these. It's filled, well, name some of the flowers that you've got here.
So we've got, of course, the zinnias, the Benaries giants. The smaller ones are the Oklahoma. We've got Lysianthus and Gomphrena back here.
What is this variety? I love this.
That's the Queen series, the Queen Lime. Very popular.
It's relatively new, and I think it's just... It's one of my new favorites because it's got that kind of it's got that beautiful antique quality to it.
Yes, that's my personal favorite.
Which one?
This one here.
It is just, and I look at the color echoes and how beautifully that they relate to one another and communicate with one another, and they would do that not only in the garden but also in the vase. The other thing that's so captivating, if you guys have followed me for any length of time, you know that mostly in my garden it's green on green. So this is just, oh my gosh, this is just such a wonderland. So what other things do you have over in here? I see some celosia.
So this is euphorbia, snow on the mountain.
And I love the way it looks with the Queen Anne's lace.
Yes, Queen Anne's, green mist here, status, and of course this is Joel's favorite, the Sweet William.
It is? Joel, you are a romantic. Joel is a romantic.
Yes, they're fragrant and they're just a really hardy, trusty flower.
And what is this one?
That's celosia. I think it's the Bombay series. I'd have to look it up.
That is so cool.
Yeah, kind of a blush tone. I love that
one. That is so cool. Well, and obviously, you are a pollinator heaven. Kristin told me that they keep bees here. You had a little chick.
We did.
Born last night.
Just last night. Very exciting.
And I think it's so much on trend that you have kind of captured a little bit of farm life again in a relatively small acre in a neighborhood in suburbia America. And I think we talk about trends in gardening, and I think very much you're very much on the cusp of that trend. So lastly, talk to me about, because in Oklahoma, I think anytime in the South, it's really, really difficult to grow anything. I sometimes say that trees are annuals in Oklahoma. But okay, share with us what your favorite and maybe easiest flowers are to grow here.
Okay, so absolutely zinnias, #1 easiest. And these are the Oklahoma series here, variety.
Which is very appropriate given our location.
Yes, super easy to grow. We love to direct seed these. And they're not as prone to falling over in the wind, whereas the Benaries are, the giant ones.
Okay, that is good to know.
Yes.
That is good to know, especially if you're on a wind-swept plain like we are now. Okay, so then after zinnias.
The sunflowers, of course, yes. Pro cuts are our favorites. They're just the single stem variety. They come up, don't pinch them or your flower is gone, but they'll come up, and then once the flower starts to unfurl, if you want to cut it, that's when you cut it. or you can just keep it in the landscape.
And is it pollen-free, pollenless? Okay,
Pollenless,
which is,
yeah.
I think, really advantageous to have a pollenless, though I will cut anything.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, okay, so then
Yes.
sunflowers, 2 quintessential flowers for summer. And
Yes.
is it too late to plant any of those seeds now? I mean, it's the last week in July. Could you still plant some from seed now and
You
have
can.
blooms before first frost?
You can. Both of those would be okay. They have a pretty short maturation time. So it's okay.
And just know your zone. So in Oklahoma, we can do that. If you live someplace else, that may not be possible. Okay,
Yes.
so then proceed.
Okay, another one would be cosmos, which we've got right behind me. Super easy to direct seed, pretty easy to grow. You just want to support them because the wind will get them as well.
And if I were getting married again,
Yeah,
the white cosmos, is it Sonata? I can't remember.
I believe so.
Okay. It would be so gorgeous in a wedding bouquet, I think.
Right.
It is so delicate, and I think is one
Yes.
of the most romantic of flowers.
Yes,
Okay.
I need to get you some of those. I like the double click the best. They last a little bit longer in the vase because they have a pretty short vase life.
They do have.
Yeah.
They're kind of like poppies. They're
Yeah.
very delicate. They're
Yes.
fragile flowers.
Yes.
But I think they're just exquisite. I also love the way they kind of blow in the breeze.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
and then progressing on.
Okay, and the next one would be the euphorbia. That's the snow on the mountain. We direct seeded
And that-
these.
You're kidding.
Isn't that awesome? We love these. Yeah, so we've got those back here. They're an awesome filler. Yeah.
Well, but I think those would be just exquisite in moss in some kind of
Yeah.
vase. And if you love succulents,
Yeah.
these kind of mimic. They have kind of a succulent vibe.
Right.
I think they're absolutely beautiful. But look at how pretty they look
Yeah.
with that Queen Anne's lace.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like that.
lastly,
would be the gomphrena here.
okay.
Those grow pretty well if you direct seed them. They're pretty easy to grow. If you pinch them low, they'll branch off more for you.
Yes, and
Very
sometime
hardy.
could we come back and just get some cultivation techniques
Sure.
for how to get more flowers from the seeds that you do plant, and if you run into any problems like powdery mildew or whatever.
Yes.
I love gomphrena. Gomphrena always reminds me of Monticello. My son went to the University of Virginia.
Okay.
And we visited Monticello all of the time, and I bought seed
Oh, nice.
from there, and there's so many different kinds of, they grew lots of gomphrena and celosia, so those two always
nice.
reminds me. And I think it's fun to grow flowers that take you back,
Yes.
that take you back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Nothing to me is quite as evocative
Yes.
as a homegrown flower.
Agree.
I can't thank you enough.
Thank
And
you.
Joel and your kids, Joel is right now, you guys, he is holding a massive tent to block out the sun so that we can be in pretty light. So thank you for your service, Joel. Thank you for having us out here. Oh, one last thing. Please tell us and LVTV viewers about an upcoming program that you've got this fall.
Yeah, so I have collaborated with a local florist, and she's going to come out, and we'll post about it on our social media by appointment only, but we're going to have a workshop to put together an arrangement using our fresh cut flowers.
Fresh cut flowers.
Yes,
and
perfect for girls'
LVTV viewers will get a discount.
Yes. Yeah.
So just stay tuned for that. We will put all of the deets right here where you can find it and a screenshot this. Thank you. I promise I will be back again.
Okay, good. Please do. Thank you for coming.